from the Hank Greenberg Field, famous for the Audubon Green Wave. We are here for the second of 4 scheduled scrimmages here for the Green Wave in the month of March. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. My name is Dan Wilkins as the Enfield Eagles, coming in from Enfield, Connecticut, went 10-10 in 2021. Their bus is going to be arriving here very shortly as they'll face off against the Audubon Green Wave. As here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our second broadcast of Audubon Green Wave baseball, don't forget opening day is less than 2 weeks away versus the Sterling Silver Knights on April 5th. We'll be going to break shortly while we wait for Enfield and Audubon to warm up, and once we get underway, or at least close to underway, we'll give you our updates, our starting grids, and we'll go from there. Thank you for watching so far here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Make sure to promote the show if you'd like, and we'll go from there. from the Hank Greenberg Field, we welcome you once again as Enfield's bus, which seems like a nice model, has just rolled into the station. Enfield, who was 10-10 in 2021, are going to face off in the second of 4 scheduled scrimmages against the Audubon Green Wave, who were 13-7 in 2021, 6-4 in the Colonial Conference in the Liberty Division. I'm Dan Wilkins, your play-by-play broadcaster for today's scrimmage. We hope you enjoy today's broadcast because obviously, even though there isn't much on the line, if anything, this is a big day for Audubon. Players, freshmen, all the way up to the senior class are getting their jersey numbers, and we also have a formalized starting lineup, so I know who's where. As Enfield is getting off of the bus and getting prepared for the scrimmage today versus Audubon. We apologize for the long break, and also, remember, this is a scrimmage. This is the spring training for the players as it is for the broadcast booth, so if we make a mistake, then we profusely apologize ahead of time because we're still working our stuff out before opening day on April 5th versus the Sterling Silver Knights. Starting this afternoon for the Green Wave will be Sean Driscoll, number 16, who is the senior starting pitcher who didn't really get much of an opportunity pitching-wise in the opening scrimmage versus Kingsway Regional, which was a 3-2 Kingsway win last time out. He will get the nod today after John Perozzi had a good outing in his first start as a senior with the Audubon Green Wave.
It looks better to me.
I think we're good. I think we got it. Yeah, am I in frame? Alright, I think we got it. Move the cord. Sorry about this, folks. Alright, I think that's better. Alright, folks, well, as we prepare for the first home scrimmage of 2022 for the Green Wave, I think one thing is going to be very obvious. Audubon needs to work on the defense. They have the hitting under control. You have 2 of your infielders that are committed to Rutgers University, the dynamic duo of Xavier Massey and Isaiah Pinckney, both seniors this year. They have the hitting figured out. The ERAs on the pitching side may be a little high, but that's expected for high school baseball. John Perozzi with a 5.5 ERA and Gabe Cologne somewhere around 4.5. They are your 2, real. I guess besides Sean Driscoll, maybe there's your 3 senior starters. Maybe your main guy to go for when you're going for a big match or a big game, something like that. When you're looking for a good starting pitcher, you have those 3 seniors. But the question is, what are they going to do about defense? In all of the regular season games, plus Audubon's 2 playoff games in 2021, they combined for 39 errors. Their worst offense was in a 3-day stretch with 3 games in a row from May 11th to May 13th. And yeah, you can't really blame them for playing 3 games in a row on 3 different days, but they combined for 12 errors in those 3 games, including a record 5 versus the West Deptford Eagles. And even though there's 3 teams that Audubon plays this year, called the Eagles, Enfield, Paul Six, and West Deptford, it is not easy to ignore the 39 errors. Because let's be honest, even though this is high school baseball, 39 errors is still quite high. And if Audubon can bring that number down, then they can rely on their pitchers more to get outs, whether it's strikeouts, ground balls, or fly balls, because you shouldn't rely on strikeouts every single out. Once you get to those ground balls and fly balls, if you can play them cleanly and if you can play them well, then that's what's going to get you success. Hitting home runs and doubles and extra base hits galore aren't exactly going to be your best friend. Once you have to get to the to playoffs and the crunch times and the regular season, that's where it's absolutely going to matter that you are on top of your game. Enfield and Audubon are getting warmed up right now. Audubon doing some outfield and infield drills with some fungo action as Enfield starting pitching is getting ready. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Back here from famous Hank Greenberg Field on a windy Saturday afternoon, we welcome you back to coverage of the second of 4 scheduled scrimmages here in Audubon. The first of which, on this Saturday, March 26th, is between the Enfield Eagles out of Central Connecticut and your Audubon Green Wave. Enfield 10-10 in 2021 in the Connecticut Class LL, which I would assume is the equivalent of Group 2 kind of stuff, but Enfield is a town of just over 42,000 folks, and Audubon, of course, about 9,000, but you know, we all know our comparisons in population demographics and everything like that, but you never know until we throw the first pitch of how this game is going to go. Audubon, of course, last year 13-7 in Colonial Conference play, 6-4 they were in divisional play. Who knows what's going to happen today? Audubon hasn't played an out-of-state team since they played a couple teams from West Virginia and New York and everybody every which way in a 2018 in-state out-of-state tournament in Myrtle Beach. Of course, 2020 prevented all that from happening, so now that they're doing it every even year again, the Green Wave will be going down to Myrtle Beach this spring during spring break to celebrate that and have a couple out-of-state teams go into their bunkers there. So it will definitely be interesting. I will say full disclosure, that we will not be bringing our Dan Wilkins Broadcasting booth down to Myrtle Beach. We have spring break plans already. We'll be taking a family trip up to Boston for a little while and New York City. So we wish the Green Wave the best of luck when they go to Myrtle Beach, but we just won't be bringing our broadcast crew there. For the weather today, if I can pull up my weather app, let's see how the weather is faring for us today here at Hank Greenberg Field. If you couldn't tell already, it is quite the windy one out there. 14 miles per hour blowing from right to left. So it's not blowing in or out, it's just blowing to the left. It feels like 48 degrees, but it is 54 as it's quite cloudy, mostly cloudy. Not really a chance of rain, though, and pretty low humidity at 42%. So as everybody gets ready to get ourselves set up, it's the Enfield Eagles and the Audubon Green Wave exclusively on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Here is your starting lineup for the Enfield Eagles, head coached by Jay Gosher. Starting in left field will be the number 8, Rowe. Starting in center field will be number 5, Thibodeau. At first base will be number 13, DiPiero. At third base will be number 12, Seal. At second base will be number 20, Noak. At the designated hitter position will be number 14, Vatrakopt. At shortstop will be number 15, Higginbotham. In right field will be number 3, Kohler. At catcher will be number 20, McNally. And at pitcher will be number 2, Marshall. As Audubon takes the field, let's take a look at their starting lineup as well for the home side. Starting in center field will be number 3, Xavier Massey. Starting at short will be number 4, Tyler Wiltsey. At catcher will be number 1, Ryan Zimmer. The designated hitter position will go to number 2, John Perozzi. At third base will be number 17, Scott Lynch. In left field will be number 7, Charlie Grady. At first base today will be number 10, Isaiah Pinckney. Pitching will be number 16, Sean Driscoll. In right field will be number 6, Zach Beebe. And at second base will be number 5, Jack Dempsey. As we are just about to get underway, I am so excited. I hope you are as well. We got about 20 or so games that we're covering this year, if not more, with the Ralph Shaw tournament and the Thank You Classic, which will include 2 games. One of them is Audubon versus the Washington Township Minutemen. And this might be the furthest that we've seen a team travel this year. And we're just about to get underway. Here is Brandon Rowe. Brandon Rowe getting it started for the Enfield Eagles in our first home scrimmage of 2022. Sean Driscoll is set on the mound as the umpire calls time. The umpire is signaling to the Enfield dugout that only the on-deck batter can be out there. They can't have anybody extra. I've seen those kind of deals before, as holy cow, we got a major wind gust coming, but the first pitch is down low for a ball, and the 2022 season at Hank Greenberg Field is underway, even if it doesn't count. Holy cow, that wind. Up high again. See, this I might have miscalculated, because now the wind is blowing out. I think I got extra air conditioning. That is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Two one is up high, 3-1 now to Rowe. And there's a strike, count is full. And there is ball 4. Brandon Rowe will take first base. And this will bring up the center fielder, Thibodeau. First pitch from Driscoll is fouled back. And throw back to first. Nothing doing. First pitch to Thibodeau. And another throw back to first. Once again, nothing going there. Obviously, Driscoll knows something that I don't. But obviously, with Rowe being the leadoff man, you'd have to assume he has some speed. As here's a line drive to second. They throw it for one, and on the first, it is not in time. So they get the fielder's choice, but Thibodeau is aboard, and that will bring up the third batter for Enfield, which will be DiPiero, the first baseman. No, second base. Here's DiPiero. First pitch is a strike, 0-1 to DiPiero. That's what I said. In the dirt. 1-1. And time is called. So fielder's choice and throwing back to first. Again, third pickoff attempt from Driscoll. 0 for 3 on him. I mean, pickoff attempts are those kind of things where you don't exactly expect to be getting them out a majority of the time unless the base runners are undoubtedly slow. There's a strike. Make that 1-2. Here he goes down to second base, and he's in there. So Thibodeau with a stolen base, and I believe he will stay alive in the at-bat, so. No, second. Oh, I'm sorry. The 2-2 pitch to DiPiero is up high, and the count is full. Driscoll is quite the multi-sported athlete. He's a backup quarterback to Scott Lynch in football. That one's fouled off to the left. That one headed for the grass. So to DiPiero, the count is full, and he's getting into some deep, deep counts with Thibodeau on second and one out following the fielder's choice. And that one is outside, ball 4. And hold on to your hats. The wind is whipping us around. This will bring up Sale, the third baseman, number 12. Runners on first and second, one away as Sale steps in versus Driscoll. The first pitch is a swing and a miss. Hefty hack from the two-handed swing on the right-hander. And it's 0-1. He definitely seemed like, the ball was maybe a bit inside, but he seemed a little jammed up, so maybe wasn't expecting the fastball. Swinging a foul back to the chain-link fence behind home plate, and it's quickly 0-2. We got some wildlife in the outfield today, and I'm not talking about goose dung. There's a little oriole bird that's made its way into center field. We're not even in Baltimore. And when's outside, it's 2-1. And if you're new to my broadcasting style, get prepared for those puns all season. You can see there's the little birdie down there. Swinging a foul back again. It's still 1-2. 1-2 again. Strike 3! Got him! And Sale knew it as well. A strikeout for Driscoll, his first of the afternoon, and there's 2 away. This will bring up Noak, the second baseman. I love how that Oriole, now he starts to move as soon as I mention him. He's got stage fright. That one is outside, 1-0. Bit of a chillier day than it was in Kingsway. We started out in Kingsway at like 65 degrees. Then it dropped down to 45 by the time we got to Midway, because of the fact that the wind chill was so high. And Kingsway was a lot more of a difficult broadcast because of the fact that it was a 6-foot-high fence, and I'm not 6 feet tall. I'm only 5'11", so that is a strike. 1-1. One and one to Noak. You can see he's got a little bit of an open stance. Take a look at it. Take a look at his stance on this next pitch. It's 2-1. He's got a closed stance before Driscoll is set. Then once he throws the pitch, his his plant leg just goes way out. Take a look at this. I missed it a little bit, but you get my point. That seems like I don't know what you want to call it, maybe something fundamental. It's 2-2 to Noak, and that one is up high. Count is full, 3-2. And it's going to be something to watch as he throws back to second and he dives in there safely. But yeah, Noak, I mean, I don't know his statistics exactly. Max Preps doesn't really have adequate stats for us from the 2021 season, but that's the difficulty with tracking these players out of state, is that sometimes they got a little different stats to them. Driscoll with 2 strikeouts in the top of the first will go to the bottom half. No score. Audubon will get their first chance with Xavier Massey, the senior, leading off. Well, we got a fellow named Marshall that's starting for us for the Enfield Eagles this afternoon. As leading off for the Audubon Green Wave is the Rutgers University commit center fielder, Xavier Massey. He didn't have a home run in the regular season last year, but Massey is definitely going to be a guy to watch. I mean, just even the way he struts up to the plate, you know that this guy is a professional in the making. The first pitch from Marshall to Massey is a strike. Late call by the home plate umpire, and it's 0-1. No, you're good. Up high, 1-1. One inside. At the belt, 2-1. Massey last year batted over 300. Again, no home runs in the regular season. However, just a very successful year all around. He's kind of been the powerhouse of Audubon Green Wave baseball because he can hit for power, but he can also hit for, he can also get on base, and he's got some nasty speed as well, which is why he's committed to Rutgers University in the first place. They're not going to put no scrub on that team. And this isn't Rutgers Camden. This is the main Division I campus, as that one, Massey was about to throw his bat towards the dugout, but a call from the home plate umpire is a strike, and it's 2-2. I'm pretty sure it's 3-2, yeah. Yep, now it's ball 4. So Xavier Massey takes first base, and we'll see how fast he can run to second when he probably inevitably steals a base. And this will bring up the number 2 man for Audubon, the freshman Tyler Wiltsey. Wiltsey is definitely a guy that I've got some personal connections with, and obviously with him being a freshman, this is a new start for him. Many of the seniors and the juniors that were affected, as here goes Massey down the second base, the throw is not in time. The second baseman was off the bag. So I believe that was a strike to Wiltsey. And just like that, Massey has stolen second base. Swinging a line drive into center field. There's a base hit. Here comes the throw to third, and it gets in there. Massey's at third base, and a base hit for Tyler Wiltsey, his first in the Green Wave uniform, and runners on the corners now with nobody out. This will bring up the number 3 man in the lineup, Ryan Zimmer. Zimmer was looking right at me for a second. But Tyler Wiltsey, you know, when I first got my start in commentary, when I first got my start back in 2016, as throwback to first is a little high, couldn't get the camera on it, my apologies, but no harm, no foul, and runners remain on the corners, nobody out. But for Wiltsey, he wasn't even in Little League when I started out commentary at 11 years old. As there's a high pop-up towards the line, it's caught. Here comes Massey coming to the plate, and he will score with ease. Wiltsey moves up to second, and it's 1-0 Audubon. This will bring up the DH, John Perozzi. Perozzi's another guy that definitely specializes in a lot of different sports. He was a very good starting goalie, also a star goalie too, for the Audubon Green Wave in their 2021 soccer campaign in the fall, which was my first season covering soccer. I made an informal announcement a couple weeks ago that I was going to be covering the 2022 games, but if you haven't heard it on a broadcast or if you've been looking for Audubon soccer in the fall, then good news, I'll be back for 2022, be covering both home and away, 18 games in 2022 that it will be, not including scrimmages. The Colonial Conference actually used to have more games scheduled for soccer, but they cut it down to 18 for the 2022 season. After the mound visit, the first pitch from Marshall is inside. Perozzi gets brushed back a slight bit, and it's 1-0. But, you know, getting back to Tyler Wiltsey, when he first came into Little League, it was with the Audubon Fathers organization. And my goodness, I knew he was a star right from that, as that one is fouled back. Just missed the Enfield team bus. It's 1-1. But I knew that Wiltsey was something special. Even when he got the junior ball, and now that he's I mean, what kind of freshman? You don't see many freshmen that are starting second in the lineup on their first day. It's like being a regional manager of a chain restaurant as soon as you get hired. I mean, it's just the fact that Tyler Wiltsey has gotten this far. That's a ball up high, by the way, and it's 2-1. The fact that he's gotten this far has been astounding. And obviously, you know, he'll be a senior after I graduate, as Marshall stepped off, no harm, no foul. Wiltsey goes back to second base, no problem. But, you know, class of 2025 for him, class of 2024 for me personally. It's a 2-1 pitch from Marshall. Is in the dirt. Wiltsey's going to third base, and the throw, there's no throw. And John Perozzi will take first. I would assume that's ball 4 then. Guess I messed up the count. My apologies. Now here's quite untapped talent in baseball, or maybe unproven talent more, and that is Scott Lynch. He'll bat for the first time as an Audubon Green Wave player on varsity. Runners on first and third, as here's a ground ball that goes foul into left field. It's 0-1. As we said before, Scott Lynch, freshman fall, was 2020. Freshman spring, yeah. I'll get it right one of these days. The spring of his freshman year was 2020, when everything was locked down due to COVID-19, and then in the fall, He moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, to Northside High School to advance his football career, because that's his number one sport. I mean, he's been looked at by many Division I programs. As there's a line drive into center field, and that will be caught. Here comes Wiltsey to the plate. The throw is up the line, and Scott Lynch with a sac fly that makes it 2-0 Green Wave. So his first plate appearance with the Green Wave results in an RBI, and the first out of the inning. This will bring up Charlie Grady. Charlie Grady, the junior, also a good basketball fella, one of the tallest basketball players on the Green Wave in recent years. About 6'3", 6'4", something of the sort. Definitely was great in the paint in the winter. Now we'll see how he does on a baseball diamond. As the first pitch from Marshall from the stretch is a strike right down Broadway, 0-1. Ground ball, that one is foul. Headed towards the batting cage. Yeah, he scored, so. And throw back to first. Pickoffs galore so far, at least pickoff attempts galore. Now that bird in center field has left us. It wasn't an eagle though, as here goes down the second base, John Perozzi. Or rather, no, that is not Perozzi. That's number 9. That might be the replacement for Zimmer, and it is. It's Charlie Copsetta. One of the caveats of high school baseball is that there are free substitutions, and for pitchers and catchers, you can replace them as a pinch runner without taking them out of the game, and that's a swing and a miss to retire the side. So Grady goes down on strikes, but an RBI and another sac fly, this time from Scott Lynch, will send us to the top of the second with an Audubon 2-0 lead. You might have seen Xavier Massey's acrobatics. He did it for me in Kingsway. I gotta say, Xavier is one of the best personalities on a baseball team because he's a combination of a great leader and a great teammate. He knows how to be, he knows how to stand his ground when necessary, and he knows also when to be a good friend. And, you know, one of the big concerns, I think, for Audubon after this year, as it was for soccer, it'll be the same for baseball. What's going to happen with all the seniors, you know, going to college and everything? Audubon has 16 freshmen going into the 2022 season, as the first pitch from Driscoll is a line drive to second. And there will be no play as the throw gets away. Going to second, as that one actually will go out of play. So he will go to second, no problem. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Pinkney, as Vacharikupt will get to second base on the error. Now here's the shortstop, number 15, Higginbotham. good, you're good. Ground ball, foul down the first base line and to the Enfield dugout. Kind of a chaotic play. It was grounded to second. It looked like Dempsey had it, and then Pinckney came running in, and there was really no telling who was going to cover the bag at first base, and the throw kind of sailed. That's a strike. And now there is the black fence with the slats in it all around foul territory, as you can see here. As that one is a strike, by the way, and strike 3, third strikeout for Sean Driscoll. This will bring up Kohler, the right fielder. So we got a American Airlines flight flying overhead, getting a good view of the ball game. That's a strike. It's 0-1. But there's a black fence with the slats behind home plate. However, if you see that white line, that is the border for if balls are out of play. There's 2 white lines, as that one's outside and away, 1-1. So if a ball, goes foul, then, so be it. But if the ball goes past the second white line, which is the spectator area, spectators have to stand behind that line. As Kohler is hit, the bat went about 10 feet in the air, and he'll go to first base. After the hit by pitch, this will bring up McNally. The catcher for the Enfield Eagles. First pitch well outside into the other batter's box, and it's 1-0. It's kind of like how soccer was, where there were 2 lines. One was the actual border of whether it was in play or out of play, and then there was a second line that would separate spectators from the playing area, because they can't really they can build a fence for the outfield, but they can't really build one for the entire inside foul territory. They kind of just have red traffic cones that are separating fans from the playing area, which, it makes sense. Just this fence itself that we're standing behind is all temporary. That one is a strike, 2-2. The 2-2. Up high, full count. Driscoll looks back at home plate. Kicks and deals. Strike 2. Guess it was 3-1. Yeah, I thought I saw the umpire's signal, just got a little thrown off. Now it's a full count. Now anything goes, really, at first base. And that's ball 4. So McNally gets to first base, and now the pitcher, Marshall, will bat. He's a tall fella. I mean, I was out near the Enfield dugout before we got started to get their lineup from Game Changer, and he was quite the tall guy, 6'4", easily, maybe 6'5". Got quite the tall stature for a pitcher. And that one is a strike, 0-1. Some of the tallest players in Major League history, they're all pitchers. John Rauch pitched for the Nationals for a while, the Expos. I know he was with New York, Minnesota. There's a high fly into right. Going out for it is Beebe and Pinckney. It goes foul, and both of them have to converge for it. So it's 0-2 to Marshall, as they'll get the ball back into play, and Beebe has to retrieve his hat. You'd think either the wind is really bad or they just got hats that are too big for them, because my hat is staying on just fine. But John Rauch, the tallest Major League player recorded, 6'11". He was actually quite a good pitcher despite his size, and he never played basketball. Can you believe that? The 0-2. A good frame by Zimmer, but no call from home plate, and it's 1-2. That's what I noted from Zimmer at practice, is that he is really good at framing the ball. He can make a ball 6 inches outside, make it look like it's right down home plate. And there's a swing and a miss at a curveball down and away, and he is retired for the second out. Now we'll go back to the top of the order with Rowe. And again, the umpire's telling him, get back. 2-0 Audubon in the top of the second inning, just getting started with the bags loaded. And a swing and a miss, hefty hack from Rowe, and it's 0-1. Another guy that's still active, Aaron Sleegers. He's 6'10". That one's foul back. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Eddie Gadel, who got one at bat for the St. Louis Browns during sometime in World War II, early 1940s. And he was 3'8". But it was all publicity stunt by the Browns owner at the time. And there's another foul back. Count remains 0-2. It was a publicity stunt by the owner of the St. Louis Browns to get him an at-bat to get more butts in seats. And it ended up working. Of course, those kind of publicity stunts are not as popular now, but he was 3'8", and he had a 4-pitch walk. So that one's outside, and it's 1-2. I mean, obviously, since he was 3'8", the strike zone couldn't have been that big, but his one at bat shows on Baseball Reference with a 1,100% on base percentage. Breaking ball, nope, it's 2-2. Everybody started to walk off the field except for the home plate umpire. And the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. If Driscoll can get out of this, then that will be one heck of an accomplishment. Fouled back towards the team bus. Just missed the team bus again. At the convergence of Walnut and whatever that second street is. I think it's Hampshire. So it's 2-2. Runners on first, second, and third. Ducks on the pond all around. 2-2 with the wind blowing out, and that one's a ball. Tough calls in this at-bat. I mean, that one was outside. Just, depending on what side you're on, you can really have a sway as to where you want that ball to be. And Zimmer framed it well, just home plate umpire's not taking it. Another one fouled back, and the count is full again. I swear there's been 3 foul balls at least in this at-bat that have had to have scared the bus driver that's sitting inside that bus. Full count again. Rowe at the plate. Driscoll deals. Ground ball. Back to the mound. The throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Audubon gets out of it no problem, but with the bases loaded, a giant jam to avoid. We go to the bottom of the second here from Hank Greenberg Field. 2-0 Green Wave. Isaiah Pinckney will bat to start the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 Green Wave here from Hank Greenberg Field. Isaiah Pinckney, the second of the two Rutgers University committed players for 2022. And the first pitch from Marshall to Pinckney is inside, 1-0. Isaiah Pinckney had 4 home runs in the regular season of 2021. Definitely the more powerful of the two players, as that one's inside at the elbow level. And it's 2-0. Even though Pinckney's the more powerful player, he's definitely the quieter one. And that's nothing bad, but, the fact that he's more reserved might mean that he's more focused, more locked in. Xavier Massey, he can have a conversation with anybody at any time, while Isaiah Pinckney, he keeps to himself and he keeps work at work. So with it being 3-0, here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive to left. This one is back, and it is a fair ball that's going to roll to the wall. Pinckney's going to second base, and he will get up there with a stand-up double. Talk about keeping work at work. Isaiah Pinckney wasting no time. Stand-up double to left. Runner in scoring position now for Mr. Sean Driscoll, the pitcher. This was the same concern that we had, with the soccer team in 2021 in the fall, is the same concern that we have with the baseball team now in the spring of 2022, is that there's so many seniors that are on the cusp of graduating. As there's a ground ball that is foul down the third base line, it's 0-1. The main concern is, are the younger guys going to be able to step up? Because right now we already have a situation of that showing in basketball. For most of the season, there was only one junior in the starting lineup. And there was a freshman and 3 sophomores. Once Sean Driscoll got back into the lineup after his knee injury on the first game of the season versus Woodbury. Good frame by the catcher McNally, but no call. It's a ball, 1-1. Charlie Grady was a junior, or is a junior, as that one's up high, 2-1. Even though he was a junior, he was the highest classed of the starting 5 for Audubon. There were no other seniors that were on the team. The 2-1 is a ground ball that's fair. Pinckney holds at second. The throw to first is in time. Driscoll's retired. Pinckney holds at second. And there's one out that will bring up, I believe, Jack Dempsey. No, it will not. It will bring up the right fielder, Zach Beebe, the junior. Zach Beebe, another staple of the receiving corps on the football squad. It's definitely interesting seeing these guys that I've already covered and broadcasted for in other sports now in baseball, which, if you don't know already, it's my forte, really. Been covering 5 or 6 different sports in the last couple of years. I will say, if you like what you see, and you want to possibly get some sponsorship in there, we do have our sponsors for the 2022 season. As here goes Pinckney to third base on the passed ball. He'll get up no problem. That'll be a passed ball on the catcher McNally. Holy cow. Wind gust going crazy on us. Up high. 2-0. Pinckney in some good scoring position. Just 90 feet away from home. The 2-0 from Marshall is a great pitch, and it's a strike, 2-1. That one didn't exactly have all the velocity, but it had some great just consistency to it. and it nailed right in the strike zone. That one's down low, so not as much as the previous pitch, and it's 3-1. 3-1 count, 1 out, bottom of the second inning. Bit of a slow-moving fest here from Audubon with Isaiah Pinckney on third base as he'll try to score to make it a 3-0 Audubon game. Not really taking too much of a lead off of third, as there's a line drive into center, and that one will fall. Pinckney will score. I couldn't even keep track of the ball. It just fell flat. It had no bounce to it whatsoever. Pinckney scores, and it's 3-0 Green Wave. This will bring up the sophomore, Jack Dempsey. And Jack Dempsey is definitely an interesting kind of player with a, interesting kind of karyotype to me. He's he's kind of like Isaiah Pinckney in a way. He doesn't have all that power. He doesn't. He's definitely a kind of guy that's going to... Dugout's loving it. But he's definitely the kind of guy that's going to keep to himself. He keeps work at work, and he's not a flashy player, but he's a good, consistent middle infielder. And for the fact that he got a decent amount of at-bats as a freshman in 21, shows that he's ready for the big show. As there's a ground ball, this might be a good RBI, rather a good opportunity to move him up. Throw to first is in time. So Beebe moves to second base. Dempsey is retired, and there's 2 away, going back to the top of the order for Xavier Massey. Wait, no. Just a second. And time is called by Massey at the plate. 3-0 Green Wave. BB on second. He's the only runner aboard, as even the outfield fence is moving a little bit. It's 1-0. Swinging a high pop-up. Back behind the plate, McNally looking for it, and it's Marshall who makes the catch, and the side is retired. So Audubon gets 1 run thanks to an RBI from Mr. Isaiah Pinckney. No, it wasn't Isaiah Pinckney who drove it in. Who was it that drove us in? It was Sean Driscoll at the RBI. 3-0 Audubon going to the top half of the third inning. Looks like John Perozzi is going to be on the mound after 2 innings from Driscoll. And that would be, I believe, correct. Yep, it is It is John Perosi that's going to be on the mound. John Perosi had to start versus Kingsway back all the way. Feels like it's been forever, but back on Tuesday. As stepping in for Enfield will be Thibodeau for center fielder. That one's fouled back. It's 0-1. Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we had a game, but Lenape scrimmage was rained out and eventually canceled, as that one is a strike. 0-2. I've noticed about this home plate umpire, he doesn't give a strike call right away. He thinks about it for a little bit. That one's in the dirt, scooped up by Zimmer. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first from Zimmer is in time with no problem. One away. First strikeout for Perosi. And, we had talked about how, Perosi had a bit of a high ERA, in his junior year of 2021. But in high school, high ERAs are kind of expected. With how offense heavy it is. I mean, we were talking about, for Kingsway, they had a tie versus West Deptford, and it was a 12-12 game. There was a game a couple of days ago, Coastal Carolina versus UL Monroe, as that one is a strike, 0-1. Good pitch, looked like a two-seam of sorts from John Perosi. But they were like 17-17 in the eighth. I don't even know how the game ended, but that one has popped up down the third baseline. Scott Lynch's hat just flew off. That's how powerful this wind is. His hat just went flying. Mine hasn't gone once, so that is at least an accomplishment. And I haven't had the hat fly off. The 0-2 from Perosi is high and away, 1-2. To DiPietro. Did he go around? He did. And there'll be another strikeout. Driscoll did move to second base, by the way, so he dropped the baseball. He couldn't figure out where it was. He was doing a circus dance looking for it. Now here's the cleanup man. Number 12, the third baseman, Sale. First pitch, swing and a miss, hefty hack. And there's a strike. It's 0-2. Perosi could strike out the side here. He did it once versus Kingsway. Could he do it again? The firepower in Perosi is back, but that one is outside. And it's 1-2. Driscoll at second base. So it looks like Dempsey will be out for a little while. And that one, again, everybody moved up except for the home plate umpire. And it's 2-2. It's beautiful. Swing and a miss. John Perosi strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of the third. From Hank Greenberg, 3-0 Audubon. They're on a roll this afternoon. Bottom of the third here from Hank Greenberg Field. And it's the freshman middle infielder, Tyler Wiltsey, stepping in. First pitch from Marshall is down low. You know, in the John F. Kling Gymnasium, there are several banners hanging of those that have had significant milestones in Green Wave history. There's maybe about 24 players in baseball, as that's a swing and a miss, 0-2. There's about 24 players in the baseball category that have gotten the 100 hit plateau. But with COVID, I honestly, I'm afraid to say, as that one's down low, that we're probably not going to see a 100 hit milestone in my career of doing high school baseball because of COVID. 2020 had a full canceled season. 2021 was a bit of a modified season, and, you know, with maybe positive tests or whatever, that's a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. That one's in the dirt, 3-2. You know what, their scoreboard is saying 2-2. I might have that wrong then. Let's reset it to 2-2. Well, it won't matter. Nope, it will matter actually, because there's a ground ball to third that's foul. I thought that was fair for a second. It is hard with the perspective, but it is 2-2 according to the scoreboard out here, presented by the Audubon Alumni Association in left center field. But the last player to get the 100 hit plateau was Brian Flacco, as that one is inside, a check swing from Wiltsey, and that one is ball 4. So I guess we had it right and they had it wrong. We can one up on Steve Bellis for that. But here is Ryan Zimmer, the sophomore catcher. Brian Flacco, obviously a younger brother of Joe Flacco, who graduated here in 2003. If you're from, you know, the outside looking in, Joe, of course, famous NFL quarterback. One of 2 players that assistant infield coach Ralph Shivo has brought to the NFL. Flacco and new Philadelphia Eagle Hassan Reddick, both coached by Ralph Shivo. Of course, Shivo still does physical education teaching at the elementary school, Mansion Avenue. As here goes Wiltsey down to second base, and he is safe. Good jump from Wiltsey, and he is in there. He's in scoring position. Count is 1-1 to Zimmer. But 2 younger brothers of Joe, Mike Flacco, actually played minor league baseball professionally for the Baltimore Orioles for a couple of years. He got to A-class ball before stepping away from the game, I believe, somewhere around 2008. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And, of course, Michael Flacco went on to actually get a preseason roster spot with the San Diego Chargers, where he got a couple opportunities. But, you know, he never really exacerbated the same success that Joe had, as there's a swing and a miss. Throw down the first is in time. Wiltsey will actually move up to third base, and with 1 away. That will bring up the cleanup man again, John Perozzi. Yeah, wind is definitely now blowing out. It was blowing from side to side as we were getting started, but as the festivities have progressed, it's definitely blown out towards us. Better than the wind blowing in, because then there wouldn't be any pop in those bats. Pitcher warming up in the Enfield bullpen as that one is outside. It's 2-0 to Perozzi. I don't know if they they must have either jumped the count or... It is 2-0, I believe. I don't know, maybe my rambling got in the way, but there is a pitcher warming up in the Enfield bullpen. 2-0 to the senior Perozzi is a swing and a ground ball that's fair, and it will go into center field. Wiltsey will score, and it's 4-0 Audubon. As John Perozzi with an RBI single And it's 4-0. As now that'll bring up Scott Lynch. Scott Lynch, junior third baseman. Here's the first pitch to Scott Lynch. Threw back to first. Now, here's the first pitch to Lynch. No. Look at the dugout. They're loving this. Now he's going. The throw down goes into center field. And he'll hold up. So Copsetta, the pinch runner, is in there. It's 0-1 the count, as that last pitch was a strike. So Copsetta on second base. Slow curveball for a strike. Up and away. 1-2, yes. Swing and a foul on a curveball that was almost touching the worms down there, and it's still 1-2. Oh boy, this wind. It's running through your veins. See, usually most broadcasters are inside. We have to deal with the elements. There's a ground ball back in front of the mound. Throw to first. In time. We'll see, or rather Copsetta moves up to third base, and there's 2 away. This will bring up Charlie Grady, the junior. Bottom of the third, if you're just joining us, Audubon's up 4-0 on the Enfield Eagles. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the current inning, as there's a swing and a miss from Grady, and it's 0-1. But yeah, we are subjected to the elements out here, so we do have an alternative spot if it starts to rain, as there's a line drive to second and a sliding catch by the second baseman for Enfield, which would be Mr. Noak. I had criticized his swing earlier, but I might take that back after that wonderful play. We go to the fourth, just about halfway done here in Audubon. 4-0 Green Wave. 3 innings down, 4 to go here at Hank Greenberg Field, as the second baseman that just made that sliding catch to retire the bottom of the third will be leading off the top of the fourth, number 20, Noak. They never gave me their first names. Taking a look at the radar, we do have a couple scattered showers. I don't think it will be a rain delay worthy kind of thing, but swing and a miss from Noak with that very open stance. Kind of reminds me of Tony Batista. If any of you guys know who that is. No. He was a prolific player because of his batting stance. You know, he always had that kind of stance where his plant foot, I don't know why I'm imitating the stance, you can't see me, but his plant foot was at least a couple feet out from where his pivot foot was, and that one is caught by Tyler Weltsey. And there's one down. So we'll go down a little further in the order, and this will bring up Vacharakut, the shortstop. First pitch from Perosi is a swing and a miss on a high heater, and it's 0-1. Down low. Upstairs by a long shot, and it's 2-1. I got it. The 2-1 delivery is a fly ball down the right field line. Pinckney, just couldn't make the play. He'll have to rub that one off. It's 2-2. Nobody really could get under the ball there. Just is what it is. A little exchange there between Massey and Pinckney. There's a ground ball that goes foul. Goes really nowhere. Still 2-2. Massey was basically giving Pinckney some advice, basically saying, find a spot and get under it. And Pinckney replied back quite bitterly, I know how to play. Both of those guys are going to Division I universities. Well, they're going to the same school. They're going to Rutgers, so I'm sure that's just old friendly banner. The 3-2 pitch is a swing and a foul ball to the right side towards the bus, and it misses it for about a 7th time. I'm telling you, that bus driver might need a new pair of underwear after all those foul balls that have gone near that bus. I mean, that's not a school bus. That is a team bus. That's a good tour bus. That one is in the dirt. And the Enfield shortstop will take first base on ball 4. First base runner allowed in quite some time for Perosi. And this will bring up Higginbotham. Fouled back to the green tarp behind home plate, and it's 0-1. Good hack there from Higginbotham. I hope that's his right name because I hope that's the correct name because, the Jay Gother and, all the Enfield coaches, they gave me the stuff on Game Changer. So if they're just messing with me, I'd be a little upset, but... There's a ground ball. Throw to second for 1 on the first. Double play! How about that for some highlight action there? A 4-6-3 double play. Perosi greeting Driscoll right at the foul line. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-0 Green Wave. Number 12, the fella named Sale, is going to be starting the bottom of the fourth inning after 3 innings from Marshall. Enfield starter this afternoon as Audubon leads 4-0. You're watching exclusive coverage of Green Wave Baseball on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Here's Pinckney leading off the bottom of the fourth. Audubon with a comfortable lead, but of course that could always change as the afternoon goes on. Up and in. Pinckney thought about it, but held back. It's 1-0. I will say it was 54 degrees, and it still is. Just the wind chill, it's 17 miles per hour, so it feels a lot cooler than it is, and it's 2-0 to Isaiah Pinckney, who had a double off the left field wall. Is that one in the dirt, headed to the backstop, and it's 3-0. Up and in, ball 4. Pinckney doesn't even get a challenge, and that'll be a 4-pitch base on balls for Mr. Pinckney. Now here's Driscoll. He was originally the starting pitcher, but moved to second base to replace Jack Dempsey. And they didn't throw back to first, they just kind of stepped off. Swinging a high drive into center. It'll stay in the yard, and it is caught in center field as an acrobatic catch. The throw from his knees from the center fielder, Thibodeau, will get the first out of the inning. Pinckney holds at first. Great play nonetheless, and here's Zach Beebe again. I don't think that's Thibodeau because that's a different jersey number. That is not. That is the number 38 center fielder. Nickerson is his last name. That's what we'll work with. In the dirt, Pinckney took a little slide step toward second base and then retreated, and it's 1-0. Upstairs, throwback to first base is going to go into right field. Here goes Pinckney. He's going to go to second base, and that will be an error on the catcher, McNally. Honestly, the error, really, how it's put in the book, depends on really who was at fault. Kind of like in a car accident. Whoever's at fault is going to be the one charged with it. And Pinckney goes to third base on that one. So an E2 and a bit of a wild pitch will advance Pinckney within 90 feet of scoring position with one away. The 2-1 pitch is a swing and a foul to the chain link fence, and it's 2-2. The 2-2 from Sale to Beebe. Swinging a ground ball out in front of the mound. Pinckney's holding. The throw to first is in time, and Pinckney maybe had some better wits about him and held up at third base. So there's 2 away. And this will bring up the sophomore middle infielder, Jack Dempsey, once again. You know, Dempsey, in a way, reminds me of David Fletcher, who, for those that play the baseball version of Wordle, which is Wardle. David Fletcher was yesterday's Wardle. And, he reminds me of Dempsey, as that one's inside. It is 2-0. Or 1-1, rather. 1-1. Breaking ball does not get in the zone, and it's 2-1. He tried, just to no avail. But David Fletcher, he's the kind of guy that almost seems like he time traveled out of 1880 into the 2020s. As that one is fouled back again towards the Enfield team bus. That one hit a tree and dropped down. But Fletcher doesn't have all that power, and he really never really gets on the barrel. He just hits it where he needs to, and he ends up getting base hits out of it. And he's got that speed too. Hit in the right, kind of exactly what I was talking about. It's caught, and the inning is over. So for the first time today, Audubon fails to score. We go to the top of the fifth. 4-0, Green Wave, here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Going to the top of the fifth here from Hank Greenberg Field, Audubon leads the Enfield Eagles out of Central Connecticut 4-0. They scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, but none in the fourth, as we'll get back underway with some more action as number 3. We'll check on the roster for who that fella is. First pitch from John Perozzi is a check swing. First base umpire says no call. And actually, no, it is a strike, so it's 0-1. Oh, thank you. That one's outside, and it's 1-1 to number 3, who is, the right fielder, Kohler. So he was the starter all along. I just never knew his jersey number. Kohler takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Remember, in high school, it's 7-inning games, so we're getting into the home stretch. That one is down and away, and it's 2-2. Perozzi kicks and deals again. That one is down low. It's 3-2. The payoff pitch from Perozzi is outside, and it's ball 4. And this will bring up number... Looks like it's McNally again. Swinging a chopper up the first base line, and it's foul. By the way, Sean Driscoll is now at first base. Isaiah Pinckney is somewhere on the diamond. Yeah, they did make a couple of changes. The outfield is the same. Jack Dempsey, though, is now at second base. Driscoll is at first. It looks like just Pinckney's taking a rest for now. Swinging a foul, shot back at the screen. 0-2. With a runner on. Again, John Perozzi not allowing many base runners this afternoon. Throwback to first will get away. And a little bit of hesitation from Kohler, and he doesn't go. The 0-2 is a strike three call, and there is the first out of the top of the fifth inning. This will bring up number 24 on our roster. Is this Rowe again? No, it is not. Number 24 would be Dennis is his last name. Count starts 1-0. One-oh pitch. Runner's going. Here comes the throw down to second base, and Wiltsey scoops it, and it's a stolen base for Kohler. And for the first time since, I believe, the second or third inning, Enfield has a runner in scoring position. I think, they're going to move... They're going to move Kohler to third. They call a balk? I think they called a balk on Perozzi, because he had, like, his hands up, and I don't know what exactly was going on. So I believe they called a balk on Perozzi, and that's why Kohler's at third. You usually don't see balks every day. It is a strike, and it's 2-1. But when you see a balk, sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. And that one is a strike, 2-2. I have seen pitchers like Kenley Jansen do an intentional balk. Because sometimes, if you have a runner on second base, and that will be a ground ball into left, there's a base hit, Kohler will score on the RBI from Dennis, number 24, and it's 4-1. Enfield with their first run of the afternoon. Just reset it. Runner on first. That one is down low. Believe that's Brandon Rowe again. Yeah, it is. It's 1-0. Throwback to first. Didn't get him. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Yeah, it is quite chilly out here. But Kohler, gets the first run for Enfield. It's 4-1. Throwback to first. Nothing going. Hey, our Oriole buddies are back. After this pitch, we'll give them a little screen time. That one's a strike. It's 1-2. Take a look at our guys out there. Where are they? Beautiful. Maybe I was just getting shots of grass, but here we go. 1-2 from Perozzi is a half swing that is popped up and it goes foul towards the fan. It's 1-2. That was a bit unorthodox. Let's see. We got our Tweedly-lee. Wildlife and baseball, they go together. Birds are just having a good time. There's at least a dozen Oriole birds. That one's a curveball that goes upstairs. It's 2-2. I've seen squirrels on fields. I've seen feral cats. As there's a high drive into center field, and that one will roll all the way to the wall. Xavier Massey on the elevated grass will get the throw in, and 2 runs will score on the double from Brandon Rowe. And it's 4-2. Apologies, only 1 run came around to score. There were only 2 runners on base, so it is 4-2. RBI double for Brandon Rowe. As Perosi will have to get himself back into the groove. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. Let's see who we got up here. I believe this is the center fielder again, who replaced Thibodeau early. That one is upstairs. 1-1. That will be Nickerson, yeah. So an RBI double from Brandon Rowe, and it is 4-2. Enfield saved their offense for now, apparently. Putting on in the conservation. It's inside. 2-1. There are some gray clouds overhead, and I'm not like that one... That's a swing and a miss, 2-2. I'm not like that one family member of the Encanto that can control the weather, but I don't know. Those clouds have been moving quite fast, and having some sun poking out at us, it gives me conflicting feelings about the rain, as now the throw goes into left field after, they're going to send him home because the ball was out of play. So we go from second to third on the throw on the wild pitch, and he will come home on the throwing error by Zimmer, and it is 4-3. So the bases are now cleared, and it'll be 3-2. As you can hear a distant ice cream truck. Swing and a miss. Perosi with a big punch out there, and it's 2 away. Left-hander up for Enfield. Takes a strike. 0-1. I believe this might be no, it's not number 8. That's Brandon Rowe. When we figure out his jersey number, we'll tell you who the fella is. The 0-1. Swing and a foul. It is number 13. We'll tell you who that is in like 10 seconds. Oh, this is DiPiero. Okay. That one's in the dirt. I didn't recognize him before, but he must have changed something, and I thought it was a pinch hitter, but he's back in his old groove. And the pitch. Swinging a line drive to center field. There's a base hit. The ball was stopped by Dempsey before it got too far. And he's got himself a base hit. Runner on first out. He is the tying run, DiPiero. This will bring up number 19, which is last name Barrows. As now the pitch gets away, and there's no throw down at second. The comeback is on for Enfield. As a wild pitch, you'd have to imagine Perosi is on his last legs. There is a pitcher warming up. I believe it's Gabe Cologne who's warming up in the Green Wave bullpen. And of course, when we get to the scrimmages versus Paul Six and Cedar Creek, it's going to be a lot more of a depleted roster, probably a lot more freshmen and sophomores, underclassmen that are going to be on the team since the seniors will be away in Disney World for the senior trip. The 1-1 pitch, and he steps off. Yeah, that does appear to be Gabe Cologne warming up in the bullpen. Ground ball. That one goes to short. Throw across the diamond is in time, and the inning is over. Everyone, breathe in, breathe out. Audubon gets out of it, but they allow 3. That lead is now a lot less comfortable and a lot more nerve-wracking. 4-3 going to the bottom of the 5th inning. This broadcast of Audubon Green Wave Baseball is brought to you in part by the Amato Brothers, right off of Whitehorse Pike in Oak Lynn. Great food at a great price. Make sure to check it out. And also, we are brought to you in part by the Quick Pit Podcast. Make sure to check them out for all the latest news and updates and some interviews with some of the greatest names in motorsports. Check them out on anywhere where you can listen to podcasts, including Spotify and Anchor, run by some good friends of mine out in Pennsylvania, the Quick Pit Podcast. Going to the bottom of the 5th, the leadoff man will be Mr. Xavier Massey, as Audubon leads 4-3 over the Enfield Eagles. If you're just joining us and you have no clue who Enfield is, well, they're not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump around the corner. They're all the way up in central Connecticut. Had to make quite a bit of a haul to get here. And this is the second game that they played today. They played a game versus a team in Massachusetts earlier this morning, probably when I was still in bed. And they made the trip down here all the way to Audubon for the scrimmage today. As the new pitcher, Noak, we saw him make a good sliding catch at second base, so really jack of all trades, as there's a ground ball that will go foul down the right field line, and it is 2-2, I think? No, it's 2-1. I'm just following what the scoreboard says in left center field. If I'm wrong, then they're wrong. Jeez, this Audubon dugout. They got some noise in them. Curveball's outside, and it's 3-1. I think that's the great charm about high school baseball. You know, you don't really have those cheesy chants that Little League players have. That one's in the dirt, ball 4. Massey will take first base. you don't have the, we want a single, just a little single, S-I-N-G-L-E, single, 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 and then everything of the sort. They have more formalized, not chants, but just, words of encouragement. They really help these fellas along. There's Tyler Wiltsey again. There's a strike on a curveball from Noak, and it's 0-1. Tyler Wiltsey might be the last, or the first opportunity, rather. And here goes Massey down to second base. The throw goes into center field. Massey gets up in a hurry. He takes a step off of second base, but retreats. And he'll move up, as that one is a ball. Rather, no. 0-2, my apologies. So Massey's at second base, and Wiltsey will get back into the box versus Noak. And the birds are multiplying out near our booth. There's at least 3 next to the center fielder, Nickerson. And there's a couple more up against the left field wall. Do they count as defenders? If they drop a ball, does that count as an error? Slow curveball. That was in the matrix right there, and it's 1-2. It just missed inside, but Tyler Wiltsey almost got buckled up. As look who's coming in. Look who's running out there. That's Cologne. He was in a full sprint from the outfield as there's a chopper foul. He was in a full sprint from left field. I don't know where he came from, but he was like the Flash. He was all over and is now back in the bullpen. He must be doing some sprints before he gets on the mound. He's definitely got an interesting routine. Kind of like Heath Bell. Have you ever seen Heath Bell on the mound? He and Jared Hughes had that tradition of doing a full sprint out to the mound. Another slow curveball, chopped foul, and it's 1-2. Although Jared Hughes, you might remember more because A, he was a Philly, and B, he did it in every relief appearance. Jared Hughes, he came out from center field, out of the bullpen, every single time he was in a full sprint. And there's that infamous image of the cameras catching JT Realmuto basically just like shaking his head and just being like, oh, this guy again, on the NBC Sports Philadelphia cameras. And, for Hughes, he had a very good career with Pittsburgh. I believe he was an all-star once or twice when Pittsburgh was down in the dumps. There's another foul ball towards the batting cage, over towards Ryan Boland over there. But Heath Bell only did it once. I think it was the 2011 All-Star game in Phoenix at Chase Field, where he came in. I mean, Heath Bell is a hefty guy. He's probably around my build. And he came running in from the bullpen and then slid into the mound, which with the grass at Audubon being mic'd up was a great sight to see. And that's when the All-Star game mattered, Back when Bud Selig thought it was a good idea to have the All-Star game decide home field advantage in the World Series. That one bounces up, hits Driscoll, and Massey will go to third base. That was not a hit by pitch because the ball hit the dirt and the catcher before it got to Driscoll. It was like a pinball machine down there. But yeah, remember when the All-Star game ended in a tie in 2002? That was one of the first years that it actually mattered who won the All-Star game. That one is way away, and the count is full, 3-2. That's why it went to 15 innings in 2008 at Yankee Stadium. Because if it only went to 12 like it did in 2002, then, in that case, who decides who goes to the World Series in a home field advantage? The payoff pitch from Noak is a ground ball. Throw to first is in time, and the runner does not come home. So they hold him off for the first out. And this will bring up Ryan Zimmer again, number 1. He had number 10 last year as a jersey, so he dropped the 0 and just made it number 1. First pitch is a strike called on the breaking ball. 0-1. That one is in the dirt. Obviously, Massey's going to be off and running if a ball goes to the backstop because he doesn't want to miss an opportunity. And with this being a one-run game, if it was 4-0, 4-1, I can understand him holding off. But in a one-run game, you have to wager your options. Either go or don't go. Noak steps off, and Massey goes back to the tune of about 30,000 men in the dugout saying, back, back, back. That one's high and away. 2-1. I swear, it's like those seagulls in Finding Nemo. They're just like, mine, mine, mine. And meanwhile, all the people in the Audubon dugout are just back, back, back. There's a high drive in the center. This one will stay in the yard. Back goes the center fielder, Nickerson. He makes the catch. Massey will come around and score. And it's 5-3, providing an extra insurance run for the Green Wave. Couple sacrifice flies today, and Ryan Zimmer has his first unofficial RBI of 2022. And it's 5-3 Green Wave. You'll love to see it. Here's Perosi. First pitch. Curveball drops in there, and it is a strike. Late call again. I had to hold back on what I was going to say because I thought it was a strike, and I wasn't sure, and then the home plate umpire confirmed my suspicions. Line drive to short. Throw across in time, and the inning is over. The Green Wave get an extra insurance run on a sacrifice fly from the sophomore Zimmer. We go to the top of the sixth here on the home stretch at the home field. 5-3 from Hank Greenberg. Just a couple more innings to go here from the Audubon Green Wave home field. Hank Greenberg, 5-3, Green Wave on top as Ryan Zimmer provided an extra insurance run with that sacrifice fly to center field, to the center fielder Nickerson. Gabe Cologne, the new pitcher for the Green Wave. We saw him sprinting in from left field as Zach Beebe and Xavier Massey was talking to me in between innings, and he said, you can throw harder lefty than the Enfield pitcher. And I said, well, I am a lefty. So it works perfectly. But, hey, not every pitcher is going to be electric with their fastball or whatever it is. You know, if you're old enough to remember Jamie Moyer, towards the end of his career when he was with the Phillies and Colorado, that was his last stop in 2012 with Colorado, he only threw 80 miles per hour at best. So I don't know what you're going to make of that, but do what you will. And I think a key factor is it's not always the velocity, but the break you have. And that's exactly what we saw from Noak. He might have been throwing slower, but he had great break on those pitches. And Gabe Cologne will step in to start the top of the sixth inning. The senior right-hander with a great fastball, as that one is way upstairs, 1-0. More upstairs than the stairway to heaven. Some people can't handle that song. The 1-0. Up high, 2-0. Yeah, that ice cream truck has been going around for the past 3 innings. They're trying to lure me in. The 2-0. Up and in, 3-0. It's almost like they know, the ice cream truck knows that I'm here, and they know that I got $2 in my pocket. But the 3-0 from Cologne, he'll have to get this one back into the strike zone. And he does. Beautiful fastball. And this is what I like about Cologne. He can be a little wild sometimes, but when he needs to, slow down and get his rhythm back together, he can breathe in, breathe out, hands up, hands down, and get himself back into the rhythm as there's a strike. And yes, that was a Limp Bizkit reference, and no, I will not apologize. The payoff from Cologne. Inside, ball 4. So Cologne with a hard-fought battle, but it'll be a walk. Here's number 9, which is last name Dumeny, Dumeny. Runner on first, nobody out, and the pitch is down low as the decibel levels are getting up there. Now the Enfield dugout is the one getting rowdy, and Audubon's kind of toned down a little bit, or maybe they're both rowdy. Here he goes, runner down to second base. The throw is in time! There you go. He threw him out at second base. Beautiful, beautiful. A nice relay, and he got him at second base. Gotta respect that. The 1-1 with one away is a strike. It's 1-2. Grab a chair now. I love that. Swing and a miss. He got him foolish on that one. There's 2 away. Beautiful from Cologne. Sean Driscoll's loving it. He's hopping up and down. Must have had like 3 cup of coffee this morning. He's just like up and all over the place. 2 away in the inning. And this will bring up number 14 for Enfield. This is where the energy starts getting up. Got to loosen up those bones and muscles. And there's a strike on a high heater. 0-1. And it's number 14, Vatrikupt. 0-1. Curveball. Beautiful. 0-2. It took a little while. Now here's Cologne. He struck out the side in his last appearance versus Kingsway with the bases empty. 2 down. The 0-2. Got him! A punch out at home plate, and Cologne gets him out of the inning with no problems. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Just one more inning to go here from Hank Greenberg. 5-3, Green Wave. New pitcher for the Enfield Eagles here in the bottom of the sixth inning. You're watching coverage of the Audubon Green Wave exclusively on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, trust me, it won't break your bank. Send me an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com for more information, or on any of my social medias too. That would also work for potential sponsorship inquiries, serious inquiries only. Didn't know if I had to say that, but some people like to joke around than what is welcome. As the shortstop, who was here for a while, starting all 6 innings, he's now on the mound, Higginbotham.
Close the back door.
Here's Scotty Lynch. He's been at third all day today, and he'll look to capitalize here in the inter-squad game. He had an RBI double off the wall and really was showing some promise in his swing, as the first pitch is a ground ball back up the middle, and it's booted at short. It goes into left center field, and it will be on base at first for Scotty Lynch. Charlie Grady at the plate. First pitch to Grady. And that one's a ball. 1-0. Curveball down and away, 2-0. This dugout's loving it. Throw back to first, not in time. The pitcher Higginbotham to Charlie Grady, the junior. He kicks and deals. Swinging a line drive into left field. There's a base hit. It'll go to the center fielder Nickerson, and Lynch holds it second, so he's in there with a base hit, still nobody out, and runners on first and second for, I believe, Zach Beebe. No, Charlie Copsetta will get the at-bat. Copsetta on a pretty good travel team in South Jersey. Sophomore class of 2024. Usually used for a pinch runner, but he had 1 at-bat in varsity last year and a couple stolen bases and a couple runs scored. He'll now have an at-bat in the top of the 6th as, wait a second, he faked the throw down to second. I thought that would be called a balk or something, but alas, there's no call. And the first pitch from Higginbotham is in the dirt. And Grady had a giant jump off first. He took a couple steps towards second and then went back to first. It's 1-0 to Charlie Copsetta. Decent wide receiver on the football squad as well, as that one's upstairs. 2-0. Our next broadcast of Audubon Green Wave Baseball will be next Tuesday, or this Tuesday rather, March 29th, right here at the Hank Greenberg Field versus the Paul Sixth Eagles. So we had a scrimmage versus the Eagles and another scrimmage versus another Eagles. The Paul Sixth Catholic School just down the road from here. And then the final scrimmage broadcast of 2022 will be versus the Cedar Creek Chargers in Cedar Creek, as that one is fouled back. It's 3-1. Yeah, Cedar Creek, decent haul away from here in Egg Harbor City. About 45, 50 minutes away from where we're standing right now. And then opening day, just under 2 weeks away, April 5th in Sterling versus the Sterling Silver Knights. The 3-1. And that is up and away, ball 4, and the bags are loaded. Ducks on the pond everywhere. That will be for Sean Driscoll to come up to the plate. And now Enfield will have a mound visit. Bases loaded. nobody out. This was a huge opportunity for the Green Wave, or it is a good opportunity for the Green Wave right now. But Enfield had the same thing going for them in the top of the third inning. They had the bases loaded, and then John Perozzi shut them down, and nobody scored. So they were able to get out of it this time. However, now the tables have turned, metaphorically. And now the bases are loaded for Audubon. Charlie Capseta on first base. Charlie Grady on second. Charlie and Charlie. As that one's up high. And looks like Scott Lynch still on third base. It's 1-0. And, of course, after opening day, we'll have our home opener on April 7th. As that one skips away, nobody moves up, though. Charlie Grady was well off the bag, but the ball was at the backstop, so really no harm, no foul. He was able to just get back. The home opener will be versus Haddonfield Memorial, the Bulldogs. And then we have the famous Ralph Shaw tournament. All games will be covered right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting from where I'm standing right now. The 2-0 is upstairs, 3-0. We're going to have some co-commentators up there, too, so we're going to have a two-man booth. Going to be working well. The 3-0 is in the dirt. Ball 4. Lynch will come around the score, and it's 6-3, Green Wave. So Lynch scores. Driscoll gets to first. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and it's 6-3. Here's Zach Beebe. There is a strike, 0-1. In the dirt, trapped by the catcher McNally, and it's 2-0. Or rather, 2-1. 1-1. Yes, third time's the charm. Simple math is hard sometimes. 1-1. Here's a pop-up out towards first, and it will go foul. Oh, that one actually hit the butts this time. About 10 times, that ball came a couple feet from missing the Enfield team bus. And now it finally got a nick on the right door. Although that came dangerously close to Mr. Softy, so don't want to break the ice cream machines. There's a ground ball out to short, slowly hit, and it's booted! And another run will score, and it's 7-3. Ooh, that one's gotta hurt. 7-3 Green Wave as the shortstop had some trouble handling that one, and it will now be, as a 4-run ball game again, it'll be Jack Dempsey. Yes. Bases loaded. Ground ball, third base foul. 0-1 to Dempsey. I'm telling you, once this game's over, I'm gonna get in like a sauna or something warm. Yeah, it is a chilly afternoon here in Audubon. But it was already 4-0, an early scoring barrage. The only inning that the Green Wave have not scored in is the 4th, where they had a couple runners on, but really nothing extra. But 2 in the first, 1 in the second and third, respectively, and that's where they got that 4-0 lead. Then 1 in the bottom of the 5th, and in the top half of that respective inning, that's where Enfield got their 3 runs that they've held on to this afternoon. And then in the bottom of the 6th so far, they've scored 2 on a walk and an error. Curveball in there, 2-2. Looks like Massey's getting ready on deck once more. And there's a swing and a miss. Zach Beebe goes down on strikes, and that will be the first out of the inning. That took a while. Got the bases loaded and 2 runs in before we got our first out. And now this is Xavier Massey. I'm telling you, it's like those darn seagulls. It's down and away. Want to know? I gotta say, these players have passion. No matter whether it's a scrimmage that doesn't count or if it's a playoff game, these guys know how to have a good party on Walnut. That's why I tag all the Instagram posts with hashtag party on Walnut, because that's what they always called it for years. I don't know who came up with the term, but that one's in the dirt. That one reached the grass at home plate. And it's 2-1. Massey, deep down the line, and ooh, that was close. That was close to hitting the bus again. It's 2-2. Another pop-up out towards first, and that will go foul again. Out into the street near that mail truck. I almost got really confused because I'm like, why is the mail truck out here? And then I'm like, oh, it's not Sunday. It's not Sunday yet. 2-2 the count. 1 out. Bags loaded for Massey. Swing and a miss. Massey goes down on strikes. A hefty hack, and he pays the price for it. There's 2 down. Here's Tyler Wiltie again. Inside. 1-0. Sun's starting to poke out behind home plate again. Hasn't reached our booth yet. That one is foul off the facade of the dugout for Audubon. It's 1-1. Ground ball foul. You know, it is quite chilly where we are at, although I will say, it ain't the worst thing I've done. When we were in Gloucester City for coverage of the WJYFL Youth Championships this past December, it was cold up in the booth, even though they had 2 heaters on running simultaneously. And when I stepped out, some of the waters that were out at the snack stand, the waters had somewhat congealed and were kind of like almost like half ice, half water. It was so cold. As that one's outside, it's 2-1. The water had basically congealed, and that was 2-1. Yeah. And that's down and away 3-1. So ball there to Wiltsey. Could they score a second run in this inning on a walk? They've gotten 1 on a walk and 1 on an error by their catcher. And that's a swing and a miss. So it's 3-2. This will be huge if Higginbotham can get out of this. And if so, we'll see what happens. Ground ball off the... I think that hit off of Zimmer because it took a high chop after it hit the ground. It either hit that or it hit the dirt. I don't know. Doesn't matter, though. The 3-2. Bags loaded. Swinging a high pop-up to center field. The wind's moving my camera, and Nickerson is able to come down with it and make the catch. So Wiltsey is retired, and Audubon is left with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. 1 more half inning to go here from Hank Greenberg. 7-3 Green Wave. One more half inning to go here from Hank Greenberg. This is Xavier Massey's trying to get Tyler Wiltsey's dad's attention. Gabe Cologne pitching in the top of the 7th. Trying to shut this one down. The video board in left center field says that it's 8-3, but I don't think we recorded that third run, so I'm going to keep it at 7-3 for now because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That one's high and in, 2-0. Believe this is Nickerson again. That one went to the backstop with a loud thud, and it's 3-0. Xavier Massey is, I don't know, he's Mr. Wiltsey's biggest fan, I guess. He's trying to get his attention. 3-0 is a strike right down Broadway, and it's 3-1. That's a swing and a miss. Hefty hack from Nickerson, and it's 3-2. A full count to the Eagles center fielder. I do find that funny that we have 2 scrimmages against a team with the same name. Strike 3. Cologne sets him down. And there's the first out of the 7th. First pitch. There's a strike. Took a little while for it to be called, but it is 0-1. Believe this is, it will be number, is there an 18 on the team? Yes, it is. It will be Morella, last name. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. The party on Walnut's going to get a little unfuego in a minute. As they'll get down to their last out if Cologne can punch out Morella. And there's another one. Cologne racking up them Ks. 2 down. Beautiful. Sean Driscoll. He's loving it. Number 25 up for Enfield. We'll check his name in just a second as the first pitch is framed beautifully, and it is not a strike, though. It is 1-0. Last name Rooney, J. Rooney. Swinging a foul off the Enfield dugout at about 200 miles an hour. That one went all the way out to the second baseman, Driscoll, and it's 1-1. Cologne even in the count, 1-1 with Rooney. He struck out the first 2 batters of the 7th. In the dirt, 2-1. Swinging a ground ball. Back to Cologne. A beautiful play, and the ball game is over. Ah, look at this. Ah, beautiful. It's like they've been practicing for years. The final today from Hank Greenberg Field is the Green Wave 7 and the Eagles 3. Gabe Cologne with a beautiful shutdown appearance as he went full Michael Jordan just straight up in the air, making that last play for the last out. From everybody here at Audubon Baseball, this has been exclusive coverage of the Audubon Green Wave versus the Enfield Eagles on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The final today, 7-3, Green Wave on top. I'd say your player of the game, I don't know. There wasn't really anybody that stood out. Maybe Gabe Cologne would get player of the game because that's definitely something and a guy you can count on. Strikeout after strikeout. He did it all himself. He struck out the first 2 in the top of the 7th and then just went full acrobatic to get that last out. So as everyone converges, as Enfield goes to their right field side to converge and meet, Audubon will go to left field, and we will say our goodbyes. From the Hank Greenberg Field, the Green Wave take this one home. Our next broadcast is on Tuesday, March 29th versus the Paul 6 Eagles, right here, 3:45 p.m. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see y'all next time.